What's up, everybody? I'm John Salter, and welcome to Switch 2 News Live, the only uncut, unedited, and unfortunately for everyone involved, unrehearsed Switch 2 news show on the YouTube. Guaranteed to deliver the latest Switch 2 news in 5 minutes. If you like what you see here, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future video releases. My producer, Mikey Mike, has ripped the latest Switch 2 news from the headlines, scribbled it on cue cards, and has delivered it to my desk for me to deliver to you. Our first story tonight: gamers' fear of Switch 2 price increases. So what's triggered this, and we've been hearing about the Switch 2 going up in price since the day they first started talking about it. That's all we hear is the Switch 2 is going to go up, going to go up, going to go up. Hasn't gone up yet. But what's triggered the panic this time is that Sony has increased the price of the PS5 $50 across the board for every PS5 model available. That in conjunction with Nintendo increasing the price of the Switch a couple weeks ago, the Switch 1 that is, about $50 across the board, give or take $10 depending on the model. And the tariffs, the economy, and the classic market condition has kind of set up another, set everybody in a panic again that the Switch 2 is going to go up in price. We won't know until it happens, and quite frankly, if it happens, there's not much we can do about it. So I say grab your Switch 2 now, grab your Switch 2 now before the price goes up and you won't have to worry about it. Our next story: Elden Ring for the Switch 2 is a disaster. I mean, I think you might be overselling it here as a disaster. What I'm hearing is that the whatever GameCon was going on this weekend, can't remember the name, and of course Mikey Mike didn't write it down on the cue cards. And here's what I got to deal with, people. I mean, I'm not lying when I say it's scribbled on here. So let's continue on. I don't want to sidetrack too much. So the disaster game show. Okay, so Elden Ring was playable at whatever game show was going on this weekend, and I guess there was some massive frame drops in some areas of the game. Kind of, it sounds to me like comparable to Breath of the Wild, maybe on the Wii U, where in certain areas the frame rate just massively drops. Other than that, haven't heard anything bad. So I don't know if I'd go with disaster on this one. And that's in handheld mode. There's a possibility that the game plays much better in dock mode. No reports on anything docked. This is all handheld mode, and they weren't allowing press to take any video of the game. So who knows what, this disaster was really all about. The concerning thing here, though, is the Switch 2's one of the big hooks is we're going to see a lot of third-party support on the Switch 2. So if these third-party ports aren't done well, and you're getting frame drops and just bad gameplay. And I don't think that's based on the Switch 2. I mean, ports in general over the course of video games, I've been in this video game thing for a long time. When you port something from one system to another, depending on who's porting it, that game could play badly when it really shouldn't play badly. It just depends on who's porting it. So let's take that into consideration, and we'll take it from there. And I'm not going to worry too much about it until the game comes out. And to be honest, I'm probably not going to worry too much about it because I'm not going to buy the game. Not my kind of game. Let's move on. Our next story: the MoboPad C70 Joy-Con adapter has been released by MoboPad. So this is pretty sweet, and I know exactly why you put this in here, Mikey Mike, is I've been waiting for this for a long time. Now, I have 3 3D printers, and I've printed the Switch 2 to Switch 1 converters and put the magnets in them and did all that and made my own converters so I could use my my Nixie Hyperion Pro, which I think is one of the best controllers out there. It works awesome in regular controller mode with the bridge, and it works great on the Switch. And I'd really like to use it on my Switch 2. Now, I do use it on my Switch 2 every now and again, but the 3D printed units don't work that well because they don't fit in correctly, because most 3D prints don't bevel that connector that goes inside the Switch 2 correctly. Everybody thinks that's just a square slot. It's not. There's a little bevel to it. So that being said, let's hope Mobo actually creates that correctly, and it's got that slot and the magnets are good and it holds in. From the videos I've seen, it looks really good, and we have a demo set coming from Mobo here. Hopefully it'll be here in the next week, and we will be testing that out and doing a little review on it. The downfall is it does not charge the Joy-Cons. No charging. It's just a straight up adapter. Now, the nice thing also from the video that I saw is it has a nice metal slot. So the Switch 1 Joy-Cons will actually slide into a metal slot, not a plastic slot like you get with a 3D printed version. So they look pretty good quality. On sale right now on Mobo's website for $20. I think the regular price is $23.95 or something, but they've got a sale going on right now. Don't need a coupon, anything. Just log on and purchase it for $20 plus shipping, tax, all that, wherever you're from. What else do we have here? Oh, and you can use Switch 1 Joy-Cons and third-party Joy-Cons as well. Switch 1 Joy-Cons. So I'm really pumped to use my Nixie Pro, Hyperion Pro on that. And again, we'll go ahead and do the review and we'll see how it is and we'll take it from there. But this is awesome. Something I've been waiting for. Let's hope somebody comes out with one that actually charges the Joy-Cons. Our next story, Kirby Air Riders Direct was a few days ago. Release date stated for 11/20/2025. Wasn't too hyped about this game. The GameCube version I wasn't really that high on. The game was okay, but I just felt like a kid's game. No throttle control. It just wasn't for me. So I wasn't too hyped about this. But after seeing the videos, it does look pretty cool. Super fast paced. It looks kind of like Sonic meets Mario Kart. Really hectic, fast paced. It did look cool. It's got a lot of cool options to it. What else? Game. That's pretty much it. What we got so far here from the notes and from what I saw from the Direct. Just not for me. I don't think I'm going to buy it, but it looks pretty cool. There just seems to be a lot of hype for that particular game, but we'll see when it's released. If you're into it, looks good, and you can take it from there once released. Again, release date 11/20/2025. Our next story, unexpected game release. Now we're kind of getting into some game releases here. There's a lot of game release going on here in the news, and in September there's a ton of games. I'm not going to talk too much about those probably till we hit September. But unexpected game release, Outlaws plus handful of missions. Now Outlaws was a Doom, and I'm not talking like a newer Doom, I'm talking old school first Doom, Doom 2 style, first person shooter, and it's a Western based shooter. And I believe it was LucasArts that released it. Awesome game. When it came out in 95, we played the crap out of that game. At the time I owned a computer store and we had a gaming network. This is before broadband gaming was a big thing. And people would come in and pay hourly to play on our 10-player network. And we played this game like crazy. Such a great game. Now they are touting it as a remaster. So I'm wondering what the remaster is all about. I'm wondering if they're just including like the 3D effects, which was the big gaming card at the time, showing my age here, that gave it just a more, dithered, smoother look rather than your standard pixely graphics that you get on an old school shooter like that. So I'm wondering if that's what the remaster is all about. Or maybe they're redoing the voices sound. I don't know. The voice and everything was really good on it. Very cool game, and I'll be doing a review on that and maybe a pre-review on the game as well. I just think it's really awesome that game is coming out for the Switch too. And I'm curious, I'm going to have to look. I don't know if that game is out on any other console. So this may be the first console release. I'll have to do some research on it. Again, excellent game. Remaster, we'll see what that's all about. And I'm hoping they add Joy-Con mouse support for it. That's kind of what I'm thinking, or why I'm thinking they're bringing it out, because it's a mouse game and you can do the first person mouse thing with it. We'll see. Outlaws plus handful of missions, keeping an eye out for that excellent game. Our next story just announced. There's a handful of games that have been announced here over the weekend. I'm going to go over a couple of them. The first one on the list here is Bubsy 4D. And all I can say is, can we quit with the Bubsies already? Can we retire Bubsy? Can we put Bubsy to rest? Can we bury Bubsy? I'll send flowers. Can we have the funeral? Bubsy originally came out, I want to say, on the Genesis, possibly, and Super Nintendo. Back then I was a big Genesis guy. It probably was both systems. And Accolade was touting that as, the Mario killer or Sonic killer, or, whatever is your, mascot IP game killer. And the game was horrible. Horrible. The graphics were cool, but it's just dumb. Dumb game. And they keep reviving this game. I don't know why. It was revived, I think, 5 years ago again. But Bubsy 4D. Let's just quit with the Bubsy. Let's move on. Another game that we were informed that's coming out, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. That sounds cool. Indiana Jones game's great game. Don't know much about that particular iteration of the game, but I'm sure it's going to be a fun game. And coming soon this month, Kirby Forgotten Lands plus Star Cross Worlds for the Switch 2. So that's the Switch 1 game, but this is the Switch 2 version. I haven't read too much on that, if there's going to be an upgrade for that for free or if it's going to be a paid upgrade. I'm guessing it's going to be a free upgrade if you have the original version. I'm hoping. We'll see. But that's it for that story. Those are some new games in the horizon. Mainly want to talk about putting Bubsy to rest if we can. Our next story. Okay, now we're into the games for sale on the eShop. That means we're towards the end of the show. We got some pretty cool games here coming up, or pretty cool games here on the list. Classic eShop deals. So for $2, and this game is usually always $2 on the eShop. Every once in a while, they'll crank it back up to $9 for a little bit, then crank it back down. But Inside, it's a kind of a creepy 2D side scroller. Great game for the upcoming Halloween season. I know it's kind of early, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Inside, and not necessarily a sequel, but a spiritual sequel, Limbo, by the same company, also $2 on the eShop. I would grab both those for $4 whenever you get a chance. Again, it's usually always up there for $2, but you never know. But I would grab those two games for that price. Well worth it. Awesome games. Also on sale on Amazon, physical version for all you collectors out there, Final Fantasy X/10-2. Don't know what that means. Not a big Final Fantasy guy, but that is a physical copy on Amazon for $29.99, normally $59.99. So grab that boy when you can. And our final game on sale, the grand finale for Switch 2 News Live. This version, and I know this is kind of a repeat, but it's a pretty good deal. So we're going to pull this off here as our grand finale. Hogwarts Legacy Switch 1 for $12. Then upgrade to the Switch 2 version for $10. So for $22, you're getting Hogwarts. We mentioned this in the last news, but it's got so much hype out there and everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. We thought we'd mention it again. And for anybody who just wants a straight up Switch 2 version, you can grab that for $41.99, already ready to go. But why would you pay almost double for that? That's going to do it for this edition of Switch 2 News Live. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification to get notifications of next videos we release, and I'll see you in the next news report.